Okay, all right. We are still on differentiation, but in today's class we'll be looking at a case involving product and chain rule. Product and chain rule. From our previous class, we've talked about product rule. We've also talked about chain rule, and I've shown us the shortcut to these two rules. Please, I want you to watch that, and so I will learn that because we'll be using them here. But I'll just use one for this question number one. I'm going to show you everything you need to know about this. But as I'll be solving question 2, 3, and 4, and 5, I'll be using the short method. So you can still learn the two methods here. So let's go. Question number one is 3s squared into s cubed plus 1 all to the power of half. But before I start, how do you know that this is product and chain rule? Now, I've already told us that chain rule is used for the derivative of a function that has power. The power can be either positive or negative, can be in form of fraction. Now, if you look at this now, this is multiplying this, right? So I can say this is my u, this is my v. From product to y equals to u v, right? If y equals to u v, the y over the s will be equals to u dv ds plus v du ds. You pick this, you differentiate this, plus you pick this, you differentiate this. This is what is there. That is just the basic meaning of what product rule. So for chain rule now if you look at this now, if this one is my u and this one is my v, if I differentiate this in respect to what s, I'm going to get the u ds. But now if I want to differentiate this now, you see I'm going to use chain rule to differentiate this because this is having power here. You get that now? So this is how you will know product and chain rule. If they give you a question, you will know what you are going to do. So if you look at everything here, this one too is multiplying this product rule, but if you want to differentiate this now, you use what? You use chain rule. Look at this one and this one, product rule. But if you want to differentiate this, you use chain rule. If you want to differentiate this, you also use chain rule. Look at this also, if you want to differentiate this, you use chain rule. If you want to differentiate it, you use chain rule. But if you want to do everything now in combine, you use product rule. So that's how you identify that. So let's go with question number one. Question number one, I told us if you want to solve anything like this, first you equate your question to what? Y. So let's start with question number one. Say y equals to what? 3s squared into s cubed plus 1 all to the power of what? Half. You get that? So now the first thing I'm going to do is I will say let u equals to 3s squared and v equals to s cubed plus 1 all to the power of what? Half. You get that? So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to differentiate u in respect to what? S. From product rule. Let me write the formula here. The y over the s is equals to u dv ds plus v du ds. So I've gotten u, I've gotten v, u, v. So we need the v over the s, we need the u over the s. So now you can get the u over the s here now. Let's differentiate u in respect to s. The u over the s is equals to what? If you want to differentiate this one is just the general method. I've explained this under the general method. So if you want to differentiate this, 2 times 3 is what? 6. S subtract 1, right? And s to the power of 1 is still what? S. So this one is gone. Now, how do we differentiate this? We are going to use chain rule because of this power that is here. You get that? So now I would have loved to use short method to do this, but I'm going to show you in case if you are solving your theory in your exam, so that you will know the proper things to do. You will not lose any mark. You get that? So especially those of us that will be writing GCE, Wace, Neco, if you are writing further mathematics, and those of you also that will be writing A-level exam, Jupeb and ijmb. So you have to show everything you're working. So now, if you want to differentiate this from chain rule, now you know most time in my previous video, if I want to differentiate, I will say let this one be u. You understand? But now because u is already here, you cannot use u, so you have to use another letter. So you can use m, you can use t, you can use anything, but I'm going to use t. So I'm going to say I want to differentiate this. What I want to differentiate is I want to find the v, the s. Do you understand? Now I will say let t equals to s cubed plus 1. Now, if t is equals to this, then it means that v will be equals to t to the power of what? Half. You get that? So now we are going to differentiate t in respect to s. The t over the s will be equals to, if you differentiate this, you are going to have 3s, then subtract 1, you get 2. If you differentiate 1, is what? 0. Why is it 0? Because it's not having s. So that is a constant. So now let's differentiate this. Now if you want to differentiate, you differentiate v in respect to what? T. So the v over the t will be equals to, this one will come to the back, half t. Subtract 1. Half minus 1 is what? Minus 1 over what? 2. You get that? So now this is the t over the s, this is the v over the t. So now we cannot say the v, we cannot find the v over the s now. The v over the s is equals to the t over the s multiplied by the v over what? The t. So this is the chain rule that we are talking about. This is the chain rule. We use chain rule to differentiate the v over the s. You get this now. So now the t over the s now is nothing but what? 3s squared times the v over the t is nothing but what? Half t to the power of minus 1 over what? T. So if we multiply all this together, we are going to have 3s squared all over 2, because 3s squared times 1 is this, all over 2 into t. But t is equals to what? T is what? S cubed plus 1 all to the power of what? Minus 1 over 2. So that is the v over the s. So we've gotten that. Now we can now go to our what? To our product rule now. We can now find the y over the s. So the y over the s will be equals to u. What is u? U is what? 3s squared. 3s squared. U is what? 3s squared. Multiply the v over the s. What is the v over the s? The v over the s is what? Is 3s squared over 2 into s cubed plus 1 all to the power of minus 1 over 2. So close the bracket plus v. What is v? V is s to the power of 3 plus 1 all to the power of what? Half. You get that? So now the u over the s. The u over the s is what? 6s. You get this? So now the y over the s will be equals to, now the rest is just mathematics. The rest is just, so we clear this bracket. Now look at this. This times this is nothing but what? 3 times 3 is what? 9. S squared times s squared is s to the power of 4, then over 2. Now look at this. Look at this. Okay, let me write it here. S cubed plus 1 to the power of minus 1 over 2 plus, if you multiply this with this, it's still the same thing as s cubed plus, so this one will be 6s into s cubed plus 1. But sorry, this one should be s to the power of 4. Because s squared times s squared is s to the power of 4. Now, is there anything we can do? Yes, we can do something here. Now, what can we do? Now, I told us from indices, this minus you are seeing here is nothing but, if you have s to the power of minus 1, in indices, it's not, this minus is nothing but 1 all over. Then you'll be left with what? S to the power of 1. And s to the power of 1 is what? S. Do you get that? So now, this one will be equals to 9s to the power of 4 over 2. Now, look at this minus now. It's nothing but what? 1 all over. Then we'll be left with this. We'll be left with this to the power of what? Half. So it's going to be s cubed plus 1 all to the power of what? Half. You get this? So now, plus 6s into s cubed plus 1 all to the power of what? Half. Now, this one will be equals to, this times 1 is what? 9s to the power of 4 all over 2. Now, you know from indices also, s to the power of half is the same thing as what? Root s. You get that? So now it means that everything that is here is the same thing as what? Square root of s to the power of 3 plus 1. You get that? So plus 6s square root of s cubed plus 1. So I think this will be our final answer. You can stop here. So let's move to question number 2. Okay, so question number 2 now. Let's go with question number 2. Now, this question number 2 now, I'm going to be showing you trick now. How to differentiate that chain rule. This one now, your V. I'm going to be showing you trick so you can learn from here also. Question number 2. Y equals to root S into 1 plus 2S all square. Now, the first thing you are going to know is that this one is multiplying this, right? So you will say let u equals to what? Root S. Then v is equals to what? V is equals to 1 plus 2s all square. But actually, if I don't want to use product rule, if I don't want to use this long method, I can just simplify this thing that you are saying. In just seconds, I'm going to differentiate this, and I will not use all this. Maybe if time permits, I'm going to show you. Now, this is u, this is v, right? Now, let's differentiate this now. You know, square root of s is also the same thing as what? It's also the same thing as s to the power of what? Half, right? So if you differentiate this now, the u over the s, you are going to have what? Half s. Half minus 1 is what? Minus 1 over 2. So now let's differentiate this now. The v over the s. Now I know this is chain rule and I've explained this to us. The first thing you are going to do is you bring the power to the back. Do you understand? So it's going to be 2 into, you bring the power to the back, you rewrite what is there back. Don't touch it. 1 plus 2s. Then you subtract 1 from here. From the power, 2 minus 1 is 1. Everything here to the power of 1 will still give us this. You get that? So now the next thing is you differentiate the inside. Do you understand? If I differentiate 1, I'm going to have 0. If I differentiate 2s, I'm going to have 2. That 2, write it here. So that is just everything. You don't need to be saying let t equals to this. And do you understand? So now the v over the s now will be equals to 2 times 2 is what? 4 into 1 plus what? 2s. So now we've gotten the u over the s, we've gotten the v over the s. So we can use our what? Product rule now. Product rule is saying the y over the s equals to u dv ds plus v du ds. So the y over the s will be equals to u. What is u? U is what? Root s. Root s multiplied by dv ds. This is dv ds, right? So this is 4 into 1 plus what? 1 plus 2s. 1 plus 2s. So you can close the bracket plus v. What is v? But instead of me wasting my time, I can clear the bracket from here. The v over the s, 4 times 1 is 4, plus 4 times this is 8s. So instead of me wasting my time, so the v over the s is just 4 plus 8s. You get that? Plus v. What is v? This is v. V is 1 plus 2s all squared multiplied by the u ds. This is the u ds. The u ds is half s to the power of minus 1 over 2. So now the next thing is just mathematics. So let's look at what we can do. If we, so the y over the s. Now what can we do? Let's clear the brackets. If we clear the brackets for this, we are going to have okay, let's read this like this. Root s into 4 plus 8s. Let's read this like this. Now let's try and simplify this. This one we are going to have 1 plus 2s all squared multiplied by, now you know I told you that this minus is nothing but what? 1 all over. Look at this, 1 all over 2 s to the power of minus 1 over 2. Look at this. This one is the same thing as 1 all over 2 multiplied by this minus is 1 all over. You'll be left with what? S to the power of what? Half. So 1 times 1 is what? 1. Then this one will be over 2. Then s to the power of half is what? Root s. So it's going to be root s. So everything here is the same thing as what? 1 all over 2 root s. So now our final answer, the y over the s will be equals to root s into 4 plus 8s. This times 1 is 1 plus 2s all squared all over what? 2 root s. So this is the answer for question number 2. We move to question number 3. We are now on question number 3. Question number 3 is y equals to 2s plus 3 all to the power of 4, and then square root of, okay, into 4s squared minus 1 all squared. Yeah. So that is question number 3. Yes. Now, you know this one is multiplying this one. That is product rule. Automatically, that is product rule. So it means u is equals to, you say let me write the word let u equals to 2s plus 3 all to the power of 4, and v should be equals to what? 4s squared minus 1 all squared. You get that? So now the next thing is to differentiate u in respect to s. Why? Because from product rule, the y over the s is equals to u dv ds plus v du ds. You get that? So now the next thing is to differentiate. I've gotten u, I've gotten v. We need the v over the s, we need the u over the what? The s. So now, if you want to differentiate u in respect to s now, if you look at this, because of this power that is here, now you know it is chain rule. You are going to differentiate this using chain rule. You also differentiate this using chain rule. And this is as easy as anything. I will use the short method to do this. Now, the first thing is the u over the s will be equals to, the first thing you do, you move the power to the back. 4, then you rewrite this 2s plus 1. Subtract 1 from this 4, you are going to have 3. Then the next thing is you differentiate the inside now. If I differentiate this inside, if I differentiate 2s, I'm going to have 2. If I differentiate this, I will have 0. So it means this is 2. So it means that the u over the s will be equals to 4 times 2 is what? 8. So 8 2s plus 1 all to the power of what? 3. You get that? So now let's do same here. So the v over the s now. The v over the s. Move the power to the back. 2 into 4s squared minus 1. Subtract 1, you are going to have 1. Everything here to the power of 1 will still got this. You get that? So now the next thing is to differentiate the inside, right? If I differentiate the inside, 2 times 4 is what? 8s. If I differentiate 2 times 4, 8, subtract 1, I'm going to have 8s. If I differentiate minus 1 is what? 0. So 2 times 8s is what? 16s. So it means the v over the s is equals to 16s into what? 4s squared minus what? 1. So that is the answer for the u over the s and the v over the s. So now the next thing is to substitute all these parameters inside this formula. So it means that the y over the s, okay, let me write it here. The y over the s will be equals to u dv ds. U, what is u? This is u. U is what? 2s plus 3 all to the power of 4 multiplied by the v ds. What is the v ds? It is 16s into 4s squared minus 1 plus v. What is v? V is 4s squared minus 1 all squared multiplied by the u ds. The u ds is nothing but 8 into 2s plus 1 all cubed. Okay. So what is the next thing that we can do? Look at this. Do we have anything in common that we can factor out? Yes. We have this and this, they are common. Yes. We also have this and this is common. We also have 16 and 8. You know, 8 in 8, 1. 8 in 16 is what? 2. So let's factor out. This is to the power of 4. This one is to the power of 3. Always go for the lesser power. Do you understand? Always go for the lesser power. If you have s squared and s cubed, if you want to factor out something here, go for s to the power of 2. Bring out s to the power of 2. Be left with what? Sorry. This is what I want to do. You have s squared plus s cubed. Now, if you want to factor out something, go for s to the power of 2. If I bring out s to the power of 2, I'm going to be left with 1 plus, I'll be left with what here? S. But look at this now. If I bring out s to the power of 3, if I bring out s to the power of 3, what will you be left with something here? What is that? So although this is still possible, I can show you some here, but we are not here for that. Let's just focus on what we are here for. So know that we can do something there, we'll still arrive at the answer. So now we'll go for the lesser power. This, let's bring out this. We bring out 2s plus 1 all to the power of 3. Yes. So look at this now. This one is to the power of 1. This one is to the power of 2. So we bring out this also. 4s squared minus 1. Then we have 8, right? 16 and 8. 8 is common. Let's put it here. 8 is common. So open a big bracket now. So we bring out this, and this is to the power of 4 here. So it means we will be left with one of this here. You understand? So here now we are going to have 2s plus 1. Sorry, 2s plus 3. What will be left here? We'll be left with what here? We'll be left with 2s. We'll be left with 2s. I think that is all. Yes, plus. Now we factor out this. On this side we'll be left with one of this here. So we'll be having 4s squared minus 1. We factor out 8. 8 is out. What of this? This one too is out. So this everything will be left with. So it means that the y over the s is equals to what? Is equals to 8 into 2s plus 1 all to the power of 3 into 4s squared minus 1 into 2s plus 3. Sorry, these 2s that I said, you can put it at the back there. 2s into 2s plus 1 plus 3, not 1, plus 4s squared minus 1. Actually, everything we are saying here, we can still break it down. We can break this down. Let's do that. For this bracket only. If we break this bracket down, 2s times 2s, that is 4s squared plus 2s times 3 is going to give us what? It's going to give us 6s plus 4s squared minus 1. So I think we have something in common. We can add them together. 4s squared plus 4s squared, that is 8s squared plus 6s minus 1. So this bracket is representing this. So let's write our final answer as 2s plus 1. Is it 1 or? Okay, 1. To the power of 3, 4s squared minus 1 into 8s squared plus 6s minus 1. So here is the final answer for this. So we move to question number 4. Okay, question number 4. Before I will solve this question number 4, you can pause the video and solve 4 and 5. Then cross check, maybe you are right. And then you have to get this on I've solved 1, 2, and 3. So try 4 and 5. Okay, so now question number 4. Y equals to 2s plus 8 all to the power of 4 square root of s square minus 1. Before you solve anything at all, you should know that this square root here is the same thing as 2s plus 8 all to the power of 4 s square minus 1 all to the power of what? Half. So that is just the meaning of what is there. And you should know that this is multiplying this. Then it means we are using product rule. And the next thing is let u equals to 2s plus 8 all to the power of 4. And v should be equals to s squared minus 1 all to the power of what? Half. So we differentiate u in respect to what? S. The u over the s will be equals to, or we will differentiate this using what? Chain rule. So we bring this 4 to the back. We are going to have 4 into what? 4 into 2s plus 8. Subtract 1, you are going to have 3. Then differentiate the inside now. If you differentiate this, you are going to have 2. You get that? So the u over the s now will be equals to 4 times 2, which is what? 8 into 2s plus 8 all to the power of what? 3. So that is everything about that. So now the v over the s will be equals to the v over the s. Bring this half to the back. You are going to have half into s squared minus 1. Subtract 1 from here, you are going to have minus 1 over 2. So if you do this, you are going to have the v over the s to be equals to, now I've already explained this before, what is here is the same thing as 1 all over 2 multiplied by this negative sign you are seeing here is the same thing as 1 all over 2. So now 1 all over 2, sorry, 1 all over. Then we left with this to the power of what? Half. So s squared minus 1 all to the power of what? Half. And if you have s to the power of half, is the same thing as what? S square root of what? S. You get that? So it means that what is here is the same as square root of s squared minus 1. So if you say 1 times 1 now is going to give you 1, 2 root s squared minus 1. So everything that is here is the same thing as 1 all over 2 root s squared minus 1. So now the next thing you can now check our product rule. Product rule says dy over ds is equals to u dv ds plus v du ds, right? V du ds. So now it means that dy over the ds will be equals to u dv ds. Let's go for u first. This is u. U is 2s plus 8 to the power of what? 4. Dv dx now. This is dv dx. Dv dx is 1 all over 2 root s squared minus 1 plus v. What is v? This is v. V is s squared minus 1 all to the power of what? Half. Multiplied by du dx. This is du dx. It is 8 into 2s plus 8 all to the power of what? 3. So if you multiply this, dy over the s will be equals to this times 1 is the same thing as 2s plus 8 all to the power of 4 over 2 root s squared minus 1 plus this. Is there anything we can do at all here? Yes, I think so. Now you can put this because s to the power of half is the same as what? Is the same as what? Root s, right? So now this can be what? Square root of s squared minus 1. So if it is like that, it means this will be multiplied by 8 2s plus what? Plus 8 all to the power of 3. So you can decide to leave your answer like this, or you can decide to factor out, because we have this here, we have this, but this is to the power of 3 here, to the power of 4 here, right? 2s plus 8 to the power of 4, 2s plus 8 to the power of 3. So you can factor out 2s plus 8 to the power of 3. So it means y over the s will be equals to 2s plus 8 to the power of 3 into, you know, if I factor out 2s plus 8 to the power of 3 here, we'll be left with 1 here. We factor it out, so it's going to be 2s plus 8 all over 2 root s squared minus 1 plus 8 root s squared minus. So this will be our final answer. So the last but not the least, question number 5. And now on question number 5. This is question number 5 here. The y should be equals to 2s plus 5 all squared into s minus 4. Now I don't want to lose anything. Look at what I want to do now. I know this is product rule, right? This is product rule. If I want to answer this in a jam question, this is what I'll just do. Because I know this is multiplying this, and I know that this one is chain rule, right? And product rule, the short method I taught you is you pick one, then you differentiate this, right? If you differentiate this, you use it to multiply what you pick. Do you understand? So now the y over the s will be equals to, let's pick one. If you pick this, it means we are differentiating this. So, and what we get, we use it to multiply this. Now let's pick this first. If we pick this, we have 2s plus 5 all squared multiplied by, let's differentiate this now. If you differentiate this, we are going to have what? 1 plus, now you know we pick this, we are going to pick this now. So let's pick this. If we pick this, we are going to have s minus 4, right? Now let's differentiate this. You understand? If you are differentiating this, you know, if you are differentiating this is chain rule. So you bring this 2 to the back. 2 to the back, then we write what is there, 2s plus 5. If you subtract 1 here, it is going to be to the power of 1, and this to the power of 1 is still this. Now we will now differentiate the inside. Now if we differentiate this, now we are going to have what? 2. Do you understand? So the y over the s will be equals to 2s plus 5 all squared, because this times 1 will give us this, plus s minus 4 into 2 times 2 is what? 4 into 4, 2s plus 5. I hope you understand this trick. That is just our answer. And if I want to still do further, I'll just factor out this. So it's going to be 2s plus 5 is out into, we left with 2s plus 5 plus 4 into s minus 4. So if you like, use the formula. This is the answer you are going to arrive at. So thank you very much.